is QTV Nightly News and I am Jenna Basonko. Thanks for joining us for this special extended edition. Here are the main news headlines. The United Nations Regional Center for Peace and Disarmament in Africa, in partnership with the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons, Wednesday commenced 2 days training for security sector stakeholders. The Minister of Lands, Regional Governments and Religious Affairs, Ahmad Nkeba, issued a stern warning to and threatened legal action against Hajj operators tempted to raise prices for the 2025 Hajj. 401 participants from 185 madrasas across the country will participate in this year's QCell-sponsored national quranic competition at Q City in Bigelow. The Gambia Financial Reporting Oversight Board launched the first ever Gambia Accounting, Auditing and Corporate Governance Standards Committee on Wednesday. In international news, although Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger had announced that they had withdrawn from ECOWAS, that withdrawal only became official as of today, January 29, 2025. And in sports news, the stage is set for Africa's biggest football event. The final draw for the Total Energies CAF Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025 took place on Monday night in Rabat, unveiling the groups and creating excitement for what's to come in the tournament. Those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay. Thank you so much for staying with us. This is QTV News and I am Jenna Basonko. Now, the United Nations Regional Center for Peace and Disarmament in Africa, in partnership with the Regional Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons, Wednesday commenced a 2 days training for security stakeholders. The training aims to provide participants with the technical knowledge to be able to develop a national action plan on the control of illicit small arms and light weapons. And Smana Esonyasi was there, and this is his report.
Though the Gambia has a commission on small arms and light weapons and is a signatory to several international treaties, notably regional protocols on combating the illicit proliferation of small arms and light weapons, this 2 days training of stakeholders in the security sector is being touted by officials as timely and highly significant, given reports of increased conflicts on the continent. And with political instability and conflict also on the increase, officials argue that despite its relative peace, the Gambia's strong show of interest to formulate a national instrument to help combat the illicit proliferation of small arms is commendable. Carl Frederick Paul, the UN Resident Coordinator, and Jan Ming Miao, the UNREC Deputy Director, stressed the importance of formulating a national action plan, further emphasizing that it is crucial in preserving peace and ensuring a secured state. While they reiterate UN's commitment to supporting the Gambia, they commend government and local partners.
It is important to emphasize and encourage synergy of action between the United Nations country team, UNREC, the National Commission, and national partners for the implementation of the United Nations programs of action on small arms and light weapons.
To achieve these objectives, we must continue working tirelessly and collaboratively at all levels by all actors to implement effective measures to combat the illicit proliferation of small arms and light weapons, and to mitigate and reverse their devastating impact on society.
Citing the Gambia's participation in the formulation and institution of international instruments, Asan Tangara, Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Interior, and Roger Bakurin, Chairman of the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons, emphasized the Gambia's commitment to working with partners such as the UN to combat the illicit proliferation of small arms, adding that the development of a national framework will ensure economic security and social development.
Our effort further exemplified by our flinching support for the African Union Silencing the Guns initiative. This visionary agenda, as articulated in the AU Master Roadmap of practical steps to silence the guns in Africa, emphasized the critical importance of multi-stakeholder cooperation and strategic partnership in preventing conflict.
Our greatest asset, our greatest commodity that we have as Gambia is peace and the propagation of peace and the preaching of peace and talking about peace. You can see it in the way we live, in all our multi-ethnicity, we are a very peaceful country. We have learned to live with one another and coexist with one another.
It is reported that over 40 million small arms and light weapons are in circulation in Africa, over 50% of which are unregistered and believed to be in the hands of extremists disrupting economic and social activities and causing havoc across thousands of communities, with more than 500 deaths reportedly registered annually in Africa attributed to illicit proliferation of small arms and light weapons. It is hoped that the formulation of a national action plan will further strengthen ongoing efforts to combat organized crime and other criminal activities. Ansmane Sonyasi for KTV News.
On Monday, the Minister of Lands, Regional Governments and Religious Affairs, Ahmad N. Keba, issued a stern warning to Hajj operators against raising prices for Hajj 2025, threatening legal action. He made the statement during a press conference where he discussed the challenges faced by Gambian pilgrims while also announcing significant improvements and price reductions. And Sumane Sonyasi again.
Minister Ba's warning follows reports of some operators allegedly increasing Hajj prices unjustifiably, which he says violates the government's set price for Hajj packages. This has become a major concern for his ministry. Minister Ba issued the warning while addressing issues faced during previous pilgrimages, such as accommodation and access to medical care, stating that these challenges have been effectively addressed. Despite external challenges like inflation, Ba emphasized that the government has reduced the price for this year's Hajj from $531,000 to $525,000, a move he believes will improve the experience for Gambian pilgrims. He remains hopeful for a successful Hajj this year.
Anybody caught overcharging pilgrims, consider that you are out for next package, and you will refund the money fully. Let me just make that clear. Anybody caught overcharging pilgrims on this issue of RAM, you will pay the money, you will be delisted for next year's Hajj. Whether Ahmad Ba is dead or alive, that government, Gambia government will do that.
In addition to the significant reduction in Hajj prices, the Minister of Religious Affairs also announced that to ensure the safety and convenience of pilgrims, all Gambian pilgrims will now be accommodated within the same vicinity in both Medina and Mecca.
Gambian stayed, 2,000 pilgrims stayed in 13 different places. That makes it even difficult. Some of them were not accessing medical services as required because people cannot reach out to them. They were living far from each other. And that was not, one, safe. In case of any national emergency evacuation, it will almost be impossible to rescue Gambian pilgrims. We realize that bigger countries are staying in one vicinity, one area. The Gambia is small, one of the smallest countries. We're having to stay in 13 different places.
GIA Managing Director Numo K. Sane, whose organization, along with their Dubai-based partner, Gewan Holdings, won the contract to transport Gambian pilgrims to Mecca, reassured the public of a successful Hajj this year. He highlighted that efforts have been made to address the challenges faced during last year's pilgrimage.
Therefore, the contract, at the time that we were negotiating that, we have taken that into account. And we must make sure that the dates that actually are stated in those contracts will be respected, and we will try as much as possible. We protect that. As I said, this is about the Gambia, and we must protect the interests of the Gambia. We are the national carrier. We are here for you.
The pilgrimage to Mecca is one of the 5 pillars of Islam and attracts millions of Muslims worldwide, with thousands of Gambians making the journey to the holy city each year. With the recent improvements announced by authorities, there is hope that pilgrims attending this year's Hajj will face few, if any, challenges as they undertake this important act of worship in Islam. Ansmane Sonyasi for KTV News.
401 participants from 185 madrasas across the country will participate in this year's QCell-sponsored National Quranic Competition at Q City in Bijilo. The regional competition has now reached the Kanifing municipality and the Greater Banjul area. Yafa Togay tells us more.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
The regional competition is being held at the Supreme Islamic Council Hall in Kanifing. The students will compete in various categories, each designed to showcase their Quranic memorization and recitation skills. The competition features 3 main categories: the Hafiz category for participants who have memorized the entire Quran, the half of the Quran category for those who have memorized half of the Quran, and the Quarter of the Quran category for students who have memorized a quarter of the Quran. Imam Al-Haji Usman Jah is the General Supervisor of the QCell-sponsored National Quranic Competition.
Programme bi nga xamne liko taxa jóg moy feñal kemtanam bi nga xamne def nako ci téereem bi di Al-Quranul Karim.
The program seeks to foster a love for the Holy Quran and inspire both boys and girls to embrace its teachings and integrate them into their everyday lives.
Ngir suñ borom subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Imam just stated that the annual event has been steadily progressing as reflected in the increasing number of participants each year.
Ku wiin ak ku wiinut yëpp dafa wiin ndax jubluwaay bi mooy gestuloo nit ñi Al-Quranul Karim. The
goal is to honor the remembrance of the Quran, and in that spirit, everyone is a winner. It's inspiring to see the remarkable progress we've made over the years.
Sir Imam Ibrahim Hassan Cham, coordinator of the competition, gave an overview of the expectations for participants and outlined the structure of the competition.
Participants who score 50 points or more will qualify for the finals, while those with a lower score will not advance.
Organizers have announced that 2 winners will be selected from each region across the Gambia. These regional winners, chosen from each category, will move to the final round of the competition, which will take place on day 27 of Ramadan at Q City in Bijilo. Reporting for QTV News, this is Yafa Tugay.
On Wednesday, the Gambia Financial Reporting Oversight Board launched the first ever Gambia Accounting, Auditing and Corporate Governance Standards Committee on Wednesday to enhance transparency and accountability in the nation's financial landscape. Ma'am Nabuka was there and this is her report.
Oversight Board FROB, established under the 2013 Financial Reporting Act, issues rules and regulations for financial reporting, auditing, and corporate governance. Its primary function is to ensure economic stability and maintain the integrity of financial reporting in the Gambia. FROB has launched the Gambia Accounting, Auditing and Corporate Standards Committee to align with international standards in accounting, auditing and corporate governance, and to create guidelines that support these standards. Here are Abdoulaye Jallo, the board chairman, and Suleiman Fodedrame, the CEO of FROB, respectively.
As we all know, compliance and robust standards in accounting, auditing and corporate governance is not only critical for maintaining the integrity of our financial system, but it is also essential for fostering trust and confidence. The public interest entities who play a significant role in the fabric of our economy require a framework that upholds the highest standards of accountability and governance. The committee is tasked with creating and sustaining precisely such a framework.
And I'm confident that the committee will rise to meet the challenges ahead with professionalism and integrity.
Paul Gay, president of the Gambia Institute of Chartered Accountants, highlighted the crucial role that accountants and auditors play in ensuring a country's economic stability through transparency. He also outlined the focus of the newly formed Standards Committee.
The Accounting, Auditing and Standards Committee, made up of 9 men and women, all highly experienced professional accountants and auditors, will be kept very busy to ensuring that especially the IFRS for SMEs are tailored to our needs. Because most of the companies driving this economy are small and medium-sized enterprises, and we cannot underestimate their input in this economy.
Dr. Ihani O. Anihara is the representative of Nigeria's Financial Reporting Council.
You are playing in global economic space, and there are global standards in accounting, in auditing. I will urge you to take your time, look at them so well, and adopt where necessary. Domesticate such codes to suit the peculiarities of the Gambia, because that is what will cause resilience in the economy.
Abdoulaye Jallo, the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Finance, reaffirmed his ministry's support for FROB.
On behalf of the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, I assure FROB and the Standards Committee of our continued support in delivering their mandate. We recognize the indispensable role that effective oversight plays in achieving our national development goals, and we are committed to providing the resources and collaboration necessary for the FROB and the Standards Committee to thrive.
The Standards Committee was launched with the signing of 2 MOUs, one between the FRC and FROB and another between FROB and PURA. These agreements aim to strengthen relationships, enhance collaboration, address shared concerns, ensure quality financial reporting, and promote mutual interests. A third MOU is being developed between FROB and the Central Bank of the Gambia to ensure the smooth execution of future activities. Mamna Buka, reporting for QTV News.
Just less than 2 weeks after the launch of Operation Sanity by the Kanifing Municipal Council, the initiative officially kicked off in Joshuang on Monday. The operation focuses on addressing the littering problem by enforcing anti-littering laws. Mamna Buka again.
We give 48 hours to move vehicles. If you come back here on Wednesday, if vehicles are not moved, you will take vehicles.
The Operation Sanity project, initiated in 2020, has recently been revitalized to address pressing urban challenges including waste management, environmental degradation, and public health concerns. The activity, which will last from January 27 to June 28, will enforce the Kanifing Municipal Council's bylaws.
The receipt is defined. Then the notice is 48 hours to comply.
According to the council, any individual or business found holding garbage, disposing of sewage waste and hazardous substances onto the streets, removing sand and gravel without permission, or engaging in other similar offences will be fined and charged according to the law. Here are Saini Sanyang, the head of operations and deputy commissioner of the Municipality Police Unit, and Bakari B. Dabo, the manager of the Mbalit project at the KMC.
People are like a basic attitude of doing whatever they feel like, especially in the municipality. Most of the places that you go are mess up. If anybody is found wanting, according to the bylaw, we charge you from $1,000 upward. Section 55, 1 of the Local Government Act. By law, you can charge from $1,000 to $20,000.
There will be no demolition exercise taking place. All we are going to carry out is sanity. We'll ensure that the environment is clean. If you are a businessman and the front of your shop or any other area is dirty, all we are going to ask for you to do is to clean the place. Failure of which we are going to charge you according to the bylaw and the anti-littering regulations. So that's what we are going to do today.
KMC officials say the operations will be carried out from Monday to Thursday, 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. and all the wards within the municipality will be visited during the 6-month period. At the start of the operation in Old Joshuang today, the police issued on-the-spot fines to minor offenders while waste trucks were deployed to clear the garbage from the streets. Those responsible for more serious offences, including mechanics leaving damaged vehicles on the streets, were fined and given 48 hours notice to relocate the vehicles to a more appropriate area. Saini Sanyang, the head of operations, and Musa Mane, the manager of the KMC anti-littering unit, shared plans for follow-up activities that will take place once the operation concludes.
We have 4 units that involve. That is the municipal police as the enforcement body, the anti-littering unit. We have the cleansing service, you see the big truck at the back, and we also have the community service. The council provides all the logistics that we need. We have almost 23 big compactor trucks. The first week of operation, when we do that in around Old Joshuang constituency, then the cleansing service will make a major follow-up general session in every constituency after operation.
And there are other consequences that we also go back again. We will go back to Joshuang again to see whether compliance has been done. Because otherwise, people, like he said, people have to change attitude and people have to be compliant.
The KMC views Operation Sanity as a proactive approach to encouraging greater public compliance with anti-littering laws. The council is hopeful that the initiative will bring about lasting positive change in the community, with residents actively participating in efforts to make the municipality a cleaner, more vibrant place to live. Mamna Buka, reporting for QTV News.
Looking forward to the changes Operation Sanity will bring in the Kanifing municipality. Now we will go for a short commercial break, and when we return, we have more local news stories, sports, as well as international. Do stay.
future is now. With QCell's 5G network, experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyapus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back from that break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Jenna Basonko. Now, still on local news, vulnerable families in Fuladu district in the Central River region received cash on Sunday as part of the NAFA cash transfer program implemented by the National Nutrition Agency and partners. Yafa Tugay reports.
The NAFA Cash Transfer Program is an initiative that primarily focuses on elevating poverty and fostering long-term socio-economic development. It targets households that are considered most vulnerable, providing them with direct financial assistance to meet their immediate needs while also creating pathways for future stability and self-sufficiency. The program is designed to support vulnerable families by offering a mix of cash assistance and social and behavioral communication services. A key component of the program is the delivery of positive parenting services, which aims to foster healthy relationships between parents and children, enhance their overall well-being, and promote effective parenting strategies. In the 12th round of the program, 250 households in Patesam are expected to receive a cash payment of $3,000 each. Each household will benefit from the program over the course of 18 rounds, aimed at enhancing their financial security and overall quality life. This is Babukar Bob, the Senior Program Officer at the National Nutrition Agency, NANA.
Today the process was we had to do the normal thing routinely. We do the social and behavioral change communication first, and today we focus on a topic called the positive parenting. That's what we focused on, because it's a subcomponent of the NAFA component of the Gambia Rights, where we engage women with children 0 to 3 years, and then discuss with them, help them identify and engage them to play with their children, because research has shown that playing with the children at that tender age help to develop their brain.
Ajiseka, a beneficiary from Patesam, shared the positive impact the project has had in her life and her family's well-being.
This is the third time that I've benefited from this project, and it has brought significant improvements to both my life and my family's well-being.
Malik Njai, also a beneficiary, expressed his gratitude to the project initiators for their support.
I would like to express my gratitude to NAFA for this project, as it has been a great help in providing for my family. Now, I no longer have to worry about money or food.
The NAFA Cash Transfer Program tackles short-term poverty while promoting long-term sustainable development. It strengthens the economy and empowers vulnerable groups, including low-income families, children and youth. By addressing both immediate needs and future opportunities, the program aims to build a more inclusive society where individuals can strive. Reporting for QTV News, this is Yafa Tugay.
The 11th Fulbe Africa Cultural Festival has closed, leaving a lasting impression with a spectacular display of enduring heritage. The event offered a unique opportunity to honor the rich cultural legacy of the Fulani people while embracing the evolving expressions of their heritage. Julden Jai attended, and this is her report.
The event was a vibrant platform celebrating the cultural richness of the Fulani people. Delegates from Ghana, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Sierra Leone and Senegal gathered at the festival for captivating performances showcasing vibrant Fulani music, dance, and storytelling. Musa Balde, president of Fulbe Africa, stressed the importance of unity within the Fulani community, calling on members to embrace equality and show respect for all dialects for their language.
A lot of languages are endangered, and the Pular language is one of them. So Fulbe Africa came together so that we will unite the Fulbe people, but to also promote our culture and tradition. But since when Fulbe Africa was established, and then all the activities that we have been doing over the years, we have seen a lot of changes in terms of dress mode, especially during Fridays now. You see people dressed in their cultural attire, you see people in chaya, and then they are proud of it, even though some of them are educated, Western education, because then that was the problem. If you are educated and you think that you should abandon your culture.
Alhaji Amadou Juldeso, the chief guest of honor from Sierra Leone, emphasized the need for the Fulani tribe to be united, saying that is the only way they can be able to preserve their cultures and traditions for generations to come. Sidi Eskenjai, the Deputy Speaker of the Gambia's National Assembly, delivered a speech on behalf of the First Lady, urging the Fulani people to prioritize education while also preserving their rich cultural heritage. He also reaffirmed the government's strong commitment to supporting Fulbe Africa and its initiatives. Malik Jeba, former Secretary General of Fulbe Africa, highlighted the organization's significant achievements since its inception.
We've also been able to promote the teaching of the Fulani language. We've been organizing Fulani classes to teach people how to write and also read the Fulani language.
Samba Balde, a state representative from Wisconsin, USA, and a member of Fulbe Africa, expressed his excitement at being part of the event.
So I would like to take the opportunity to say thank you to those who've been putting the event together. Like I said offstage, putting these events together is not an easy thing. So I would advise that whoever is out there, if you can donate money, if you can donate your time, if you can volunteer, participate, do it. We need to build this institution to keep our cultures and make sure that our kids and our grandkids will not lose who we are as a people.
The festival concluded with a wonderful parade featuring vibrant traditional attire and entrancing performances, reinforcing the Fulbe people's unbreakable connection and deep cultural pride. The event served as a reminder of the unifying power of heritage and the incredible potential for culture to bridge nations, fostering a sense of solidarity and shared identity among Fulani communities across the globe. For QTV News, I am Julden Yai.
Still on cultural heritage, on the 18th of January 2025, the community of Janjambure came together to celebrate a momentous cultural event as more than 80 boys participated in a traditional male circumcision ceremony. Lolem Kamara tells us more.
The event marked the successful conclusion of an intensive 1-month, 3 weeks long initiation in the bush under the guidance of the Council of Elders. Held every 5 years, the ceremony was organized by the Baktutin Institute Group under the leadership of Baba Dindin Jabate. The boys were welcomed back to the community in a vibrant traditional ceremony, an important milestone in the lives of young males, symbolizing their transition into adulthood. Alhaji Omar Mambure, a member of the Council of Elders, explains the importance of this initiation.
We are having this dance because it marks the last night the boys will spend with their families, because they will be away for more than a month. It was an emotional moment which made some happy and some sad, because it will take a while before they reunite with their sons. So we pray for their safe return.
According to the elders we spoke to, the initiation period saw the boys living in the bush under the supervision of elders to instill community values and traditional customs. While the boys are being prepared and fully ready to reunite with their families, their stay in the bush under the supervision of elders is filled with lessons on morality. The ambience and excitement can be seen in the mood in which they are welcomed by their families. Baidu Sanyang, another council of elders, reiterates that This initiation is a long tradition that they inherit, so it must be fulfilled.
This is something we inherited, and what you inherit should be told as it is. There should be no fabrication of it. This belongs to Janjamburi. Why? Because it has to do with culture and traditions. This night activity is a custom, and we have to do it before the D-Day. Tonight is just the tip of the iceberg. What you will see tomorrow will be unexplainable, because you will see things you have never seen before.
The circumcision ceremony highlights the community's strong ties to its heritage. It was not only a spiritual event, but also a moment of social unity, with families from all corners of Janjamburi coming together to celebrate the boys' successful completion of the rites. Here are Nyima Sanya and Bintulei Sambu, both grandmothers of boys who took part this year.
We are here to mark our long tradition, and we thank God that we can do it this year. JJB has been known for this and has long been at the forefront of preserving these vital cultural practices. We do it every 5 years. We are so excited to have witnessed this day, and we pray that it continues to happen for many years to come. As mothers, we are happy to be part of these rites, because the only other time we can organize big events is when our daughters are getting married. Then, we do the traditional weddings for them.
The boys returned to the town and later, dressed in traditional attire, danced the traditional dances as they are filled with excitement and joy. On behalf of the Council of Elders, Mr. Mambure thanked all those who supported them in making sure the event was a success. For QTV News, Loli M. Kamara.
From that story by Loli M. Kamara, now let's take a look at news beyond our borders. Although Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger had announced that they had withdrawn from the West African bloc ECOWAS, that withdrawal only became official as of January 29, 2025. The move was sparked by tensions between the Sahelian junta-led nations and the regional bloc. Jordan Jai has the details.
A significant shift has occurred in West Africa as ECOWAS formalizes the departure of Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, formalized from the regional bloc. A press release from ECOWAS dated 29 January 2025 confirms the official severance of ties with the three nations. The three nations having announced their intention to withdraw in January 2024. Their exit stems from prolonged tensions with ECOWAS, particularly concerning political transitions following military coups in each nation. Sanctions, border closures, and diplomatic strains deepened the rift, leading them to establish the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, a new regional cooperation framework. In Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, citizens celebrated the raising of the AES flag, symbolizing the new alliance next to the existing flags of the three nations, which they are all retaining. People took to the streets, dancing and clapping, expressing support for what they perceive as greater sovereignty and self-determination. Despite their departure, ECOWAS has taken steps to minimize disruptions. The bloc has instructed all member states to continue recognizing national passports and identity cards bearing the ECOWAS logo, allowing citizens of the three countries to travel, reside and trade without restrictions, at least for now. The withdrawal of Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger has inevitably raised questions about ECOWAS stability and viability. Analysts warn that this move could prompt other dissatisfied nations to consider familiar actions, potentially reshaping the political and economic landscape of West Africa. In January 2025, a Congolese minister gave an interview to French media, which he said his country has not ruled out the possibility of applying to join the AES. For now, ECOWAS maintains that dialogue remains open, and discussions will continue to determine the future relationship between the three states and the bloc. Meanwhile, the three junta-led nations have announced plans to release a common biometric passport and declared the creation of a 5,000-member unified army to combat jihadism, according to Reuters. It remains to be seen whether the AES members will ever feel the need to return to the ECOWAS fold. For QTV News, I am Julden Yai.
Now let's take a look at what is happening in the world of sports. The stage is set for Africa's biggest football spectacle. The final draw for the Total Energies CAF Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025 took place last night at the Mohammed V National Theatre in Rabat. It was a star-studded affair, revealing 6 fascinating groups for the tournament, which kicks off on 21st December 2025 and runs until 18th January 2026. More in this report by Ade Drame, which is narrated by our Bob.
This year's AFCON will see 24 teams battling it out in 6 host cities across Morocco, competing for the continent's most prestigious football trophy. So, let's take a look at how the groups shape up for the last night's draw. In Group A, host Morocco headline a competitive pool joined by Mali, Zambia and Comoros. In Group B, record 7-time champions Egypt take on 3 Southern African powerhouses South Africa, Angola and Zimbabwe. In Group C, heavyweights Nigeria face Tunisia, as well as East African rivals Uganda and Tanzania, the co-hosts of AFCON 2027. In Group D, defending 2021 champions Senegal are up against DR Congo, Benin and Botswana. In Group E, 2019 winners Algeria clash with Burkina Faso, Equatorial Guinea and Sudan. In Group F, defending champions Côte d'Ivoire meet all rivals Cameroon alongside Gabon and Mozambique. The top teams in each group, along with the 4 best third-place teams, will advance to the knockout stages. In the previous tournament, West Africa provided 13 of the 24 finalists. This time, the region has only 6 teams. The draw, broadcast in over 90 countries, featured African legends like Serge Aurier of Côte d'Ivoire, Aliou Cissé of Senegal, who coached his nation to their only AFCON win so far, Joseph Yobo of Nigeria, who won as his nation's captain in 2013, and Mustafa Hajj of Morocco, African Footballer of the Year in 1998, adding star power to the evening. This will be Morocco's first time of hosting the AFCON since 1988. And the stage is set for an unforgettable tournament, although their team failed to make it. Gambian football fans will doubtless tune in as the continent cheers up for what promises to be an epic football showdown. For QTV News, I am our Bob.
Looking forward to an exciting AFCON. Now, before we leave, let's recap our main headlines. The United Nations Regional Center for Peace and Disarmament in Africa, in partnership with the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons, Wednesday commenced 2 days training for security sector stakeholders. The Minister of Lands, Regional Governments and Religious Affairs, Amat Nkeba, issued a stem warning to and threatened legal action against Hajj operators tempted to raise prices for the 2025 Hajj. 401 participants from 185 madrasas across the country will participate in this year's QCell-sponsored National Quranic competition at QCell in Bigelow. The Gambia Financial Reporting Oversight Board launched the first ever Gambia Accounting, Auditing and Corporate Governance Standards Committee on Wednesday. In international news, although Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger has announced that they had withdrawn from ECOWAS, that withdrawal only became official as of today, January 29, 2025. And in sports news, the stage is set for Africa's biggest football event. The final draw for the Total Energies CAF Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025 took place on Monday night in Rabat, unveiling the groups and creating excitement for what's to come in the tournament. Well, that is all we have for you in this special extended news bulletin. Join us at 10 p.m. for all the news. Thanks for watching.